Welcome to the Cymatics Show. We have Budi Voogt. How do you say your name?
Voogt.
Because I couldn't say it like you said it the other day, and I didn't
Yes.
want to butcher it because I say Vogue, which is definitely not right.
I say Voogt.
So it's Budi Voogt.
Budi Voogt, who is a beast manager, the CEO of Heroic, and also co-owns Bitbird and manages San Holo. But I'm just going to, you want to give a quick couple seconds here about all your accomplishments and stuff?
Sure. Hey guys, I am Budi. I am a music entrepreneur, and I'm the CEO of a company called Heroic, which is a music management agency, and we manage San Holo, Drulu, Tosca Black, Unlike Pluto, and soon to be announced Artist. And then also I'm the CEO of Bitbird, which is a label I run with San Holo and his creative director and our art director Torwald. And that's a creative record label where we also do merchandising. And then also you may know me from Heroic Academy, which is an educational platform we have. So in the past, I wrote a book about SoundCloud and made an online course called the Music Marketing Academy. And my partner Tim also did some stuff about mixing and mastering. But I'm excited to be here, and management and the label and publishing has taken a lot of time. So
And
that's been the focus.
Yeah, and the SoundCloud Bible.
So we'll go ahead and start the show by you announcing your new artist here on.
That's definitely coming. He said soon to be announced.
Well, listen, that could
be
be some micro content we do down the line.
secret artist. That's everybody's like, ooh, who's he talking about? Soon to be announced.
Yes.
Cool. So how have you liked your stay in Atlanta so far? It's been fun hanging out.
Absolutely. I was saying, I had no idea Georgia was this of a green of a state.
Oh, it's so green everywhere.
Beautiful.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
I didn't notice till Mark came down from Mexico, and he was like, dude, it's so green. And I was like, what do you mean it's green? Like, it's as normal, you know?
Yeah, totally. So the town where I live, it's called The Hague in the Netherlands, and it's also where our offices are. And we have an international team, but half of both the Heroic and Bitbird teams, they work out of The Hague, and it's a beautiful, compact city, but a lot of greenery, you know, and I like to do everything by bike. So coming here and seeing nature, or at least a little bit of it, makes me feel good.
Next time you come back, we'll have to take you way out into the forest.
Let's do it.
Like those mountains that you can see mountains from Drew's house.
Yeah,
like if you look at
it's
the
really
distance.
pretty in North Georgia. North Georgia's the best.
Let's get the hike going.
We got all
we didn't get a hike in.
We got all the sauce we're working on today. I want to do the Kennesaw Mountain hike because I thought that would have been nice.
I don't know if we'll have time because the top secret project.
Top secret project.
Yes.
Everybody who's watching this, there is a top secret project we're working on with this man right here. Just be on the lookout for that. Anyways, diving in. So I think a first good topic I want to talk about is straight up Spotify because obviously it's like the place to be these days. You want to talk a little bit about maybe some trends you want to talk about on Spotify and what you're seeing?
Sure. It is relevant more than any other streaming platform. And I don't think I'm supposed to say that, right? Because obviously there's a lot of competition and all the platforms are carrying their weight. It's competitive. And
do you think SoundCloud is dead?
No, I don't.
What's your thoughts on SoundCloud?
Do you think it should be somebody's focus to gain SoundCloud followers?
Ooh, that's a great question. Actually, I think anywhere where your fan base engages with you and you can engage back, and that's somewhere where you have a direct line, right, where it's not too convoluted. You're getting in the inbox or you're being listened to. That works. Yeah. So SoundCloud's still relevant for us. It's where we came up, but the real reach we get is right now it's predominantly on Spotify, Apple Music, because there's the upward spiral. If we get in the right playlist with the right music, you know, you have the viral charts, and then that's going to get you more eyeballs. It's going to get you more curation, and obviously that will lead to more streams, which will lead to more daily streams, which get you higher in the playlist.
I have a question because I know everybody asks me this all the time because they don't believe it can actually happen. Can you make good living money on Spotify?
Sure.
Good money. I want people to know that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, average CPMs we see today, and you got to think about Spotify. It has an ad-supported product, right? So basically, their business model for all these streaming platforms, and I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent, right? But the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, they want to be market leader, and they want to be that in every single country. And to do that, Apple doesn't have a free product, but Spotify does. And the user experience is incredible, right? So they're trying to get people to sign up, give them a great experience, and then there's a little bit of friction, which is convincing you to go to the paid, right? And then maybe you have a bundle with your telco, or maybe you get a family plan, which is super affordable, and then you're in that ecosystem. And so, once your entire library's in a platform like that, in a Spotify, like then the switching costs of going to something else are so high. So absolutely, I think that's important. And whether you can make a living, totally. I mean, the CPMs we're seeing are something like $4 for 1,000 streams, which is super solid.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
man.
sorry, am I doing that math correctly? 4,000 against 1 million. Yeah, that's the same thing.
And for those of you guys who don't know, CPM is like cost per 1,000, essentially, right? Like what you're going to be making on 1,000 streams.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing as an artist, right, what you want to be building is, of course, you want a hit song, but it's catalog. For streaming, that's it. And most modern distributors, they're going to pay you up monthly. So that's great. You put out a record, and then 2-3 months after, you're going to get your first paycheck. And what if you put out a record a week for every 2 weeks?
So another question I want to ask, kind of to go further on that, is you've had a lot of success, obviously, with your artists, especially like San on the playlist. You want to talk a little bit about your relationship building and how people can maybe strive towards getting on there, maybe how you guys have done such a great job? Because obviously playlist is a big portion of Spotify.
Sure. So many components to that. I mean, it begins with you having a compelling artist story, and that is what you're pitching at the end of the day, So you got to have a compelling artist story. Your branding needs to be on point. Right? It helps to have a great product, of course. Your music needs to be incredible. And then it's like any other gatekeeper system where it really depends on your relationships. And Spotify is a company that has offices similar to an Apple Music, similar to a SoundCloud. And because their playlists, they have algorithmic playlists, but also curated playlists, there are editors who can inform what gets on those playlists. So depending on where you're from, maybe you want to identify if there's a local office where you can try build a relationship. Let's say you're from Berlin, maybe you want to try hop by the Spotify Berlin office.
Is that easy to set up?
No. Very hard. Very hard.
We got our producers just walking in like, hey, guys.
So it's very hard, of course, because last I heard, statistics were that the number of record editions on Spotify, it's something like 20,000, 25,000 records a day.
I think it was even 40. Maybe.
Yeah, so anyway, preposterously high amount, right? So you gotta build momentum, and you need to find your champions, and I also don't think you necessarily strictly need to look at Spotify. It really is, if you're a beginning act, it is focus on the platforms where you're getting the most traction and double down. And one of the things that's really interesting about Spotify, because they have the curated playlist, right? There's artist and label relations people, and then there are curator teams. And usually they split those up per segments, right? So you might have people doing rock, people doing electronic music, people doing alternative, maybe some people doing chill. And then that's going to be localized. So let's say you're in Latin America, you might have these different curators for their playlists in Spanish or Portuguese. And in North America, right, you might have those same curators ran out of a New York and LA office for those types of playlists who might be more worldwide because they're English. You gotta find where your champions are, and one thing is very good contact research, of course. It's digging in on the LinkedIns and finding out who the artist and label relations people are and so forth. Another thing, of course, is looking these people up on social media. But of course, if they're being overwhelmed with pitches, like, how are you going to be interesting unless you have a real proposition? And then when you're making a pitch, right, what do you have going for you? How many streams do you have? Have you recently played a show? Are you doing a festival in their market? So it's a little snowball. You got to get going, and you got to start small, of course.
Do you think it's worth it to start on the small playlists that are like 500 fans, 1,000 subscribers or whatever?
Oh, totally. And what's most likely, of course, is that you're not going to get playlisting from Spotify first, right? I mean, there's the artist submission tool. So basically on Spotify for artists, which everyone can sign up for. Once a week, you can submit a record. And a record label can do the same thing. So 2 parties, if you're working with a label, can put in such a submission. And that usually goes into the funnel of the local team that you're working with. And the curators and the A&Ls, they then get all those submissions, and they filter out what's interesting. And maybe they meet once a week, and they discuss the highest priorities. So let's say we have a relationship with an artist and label relations person. We may have flagged this is something that's super important that's coming out. And then they might discuss with their curators. They might do that on a Tuesday or Wednesday, right? And then on Friday, New Music Friday is a term, of course. That might be the day when this stuff then gets broadcast. That's why it's important to get that in the beginning of the week. But these are the Spotify playlists, right? And then there's also a whole bunch owned by the major labels. And there's a whole bunch of ones called the indies or user-generated content playlists. So that could be San Holo, who has a playlist, right? Or that could be Nike or Starbucks or Cymatics, right? And those are probably the most accessible. So you want to find the people who run those and then say, hey, you want to check out my record? Or if you have your own playlist, do you want to trade?
So,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a question. So obviously your deep domain expertise in Spotify. We got a friend named Ryan, who's a guy who's borderline completely unknown when it comes to front end Instagram, SoundCloud. Just
No brand. Basically.
no social presence or brand, but definitely killing it on Spotify. They're getting a shit ton of streams and stuff, and a lot of support from the playlisters. But I also know he has a manager that has played a big role in that. What's your thoughts on the importance of having a manager who understands the shit you're talking about? Because a lot of these producers, man, for them to like get good at production and become a whiz at the Spotify side is tough. So how important is that manager role and somebody who can like help do some of the stuff that you're talking about?
Sure. Well, one thing I learned through the years of being a manager is that you don't want to get into a relationship where, as the manager, you are carrying all the organizational weight and putting in all the energy to do something where the artist perhaps might not be willing to take charge of his or her social media, right? Or willing to self-organize. So I think it's actually good if artists need to do some of these things themselves in the beginning, right? Hustle a little bit, build the
100%.
first 10.
I think it teaches you a shit ton, too.
Exactly. And you gotta like, unless you're able to get through that initial noise yourself and build those good habits and understand, I mean, you guys are constantly, this week, and I love you for that, is you've become so good at Instagram, but only by using it, you know? And for artists, that's so important because your job is not just to make music, it's also to represent yourself. And really the way to represent yourself and speak to your fan base is on socials. And I think artists need to build those habits. So get those first 10,000, 20,000 Instagram follows, get those first 10, 20,000 on SoundCloud. Do that. Maybe send some Spotify pitches to indie artists, find out, Spinning is running a playlist. Bitbird is running a playlist. Find out who the marketing manager is. Send that person an email. And then when the manager comes, and you asked this when you interviewed San on this podcast, when the manager comes, yeah, of course it's nicest if the manager approaches the artist, right? Because then that person's going to be excited. And then, you've built the right habits, so you know what you're looking for, you know where you can be complimented, and then someone else hopefully is able to take that to the next level. And that person knowing about Spotify and having done it before, yeah, that helps. But is it necessary? I'm not sure. Like for me, when I started with San, we didn't know any of this, right? Like we're just learning on the fly.
Was Spotify even really a thing then?
It wasn't.
So you guys kind of learned on
SoundCloud, actually, when we started, SoundCloud was like brand new. I think it was first or
and
second.
it was very relevant.
Yes.
Like
Very
big
relevant.
big part of San's come up, I'm sure.
Correct. And of mine and ours, our team.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
But now not so much.
It's different, I guess,
The discovery sucks.
Newsfeed sucks.
The
Nobody
newsfeed.
scrolls on SoundCloud.
You have to get
all day.
linked. You have to get linked to SoundCloud usually to check out a song.
Yeah. Listen, it's still doing some things very well, but maybe they've not captured the opportunity they had as much as they could.
Yeah.
I think that's really my perspective. So it does serve a purpose. There are fans there, right? It's still the go-to place for producers. The one thing that Apple Music and Spotify do not have is a community. You can't engage with one another. And I'm always thinking, like, what if that existed?
Do you think they'll add that?
No, because it will take away from the streamlined user experience.
That makes sense.
Netflix tried to do that for a while. They launched it back in the day. It was like a social element where you can watch what movies other people are watching.
Oh, yeah.
Flopped.
Right.
Flopped hard.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand they want to have a closed-off, super curated user experience. But when it comes to SoundCloud, like the relevance today, of course, we upload content, and one thing we're seeing, is definitely in building an act, it allows for you to do many interesting things. When San popped off, we did the bootleg remixes, the Don't Touch the Classics. But like right now, something we would do is look at what records are trending on the charts, on the viral charts, and you could pull up the Billboard charts, you could pull up the SoundCloud charts and remix those.
You can't really get away with that anymore, though, on SoundCloud.
Depends.
Like I mean, I had my song taken down.
That depends. You could be strategical about it. So the major labels, right? So on the back end of SoundCloud, there's an audio matching system. So the labels, they ingest their content, and then they can set a policy for how they want to treat it.
Yeah.
So what you could say is, you could have it auto take down, and then you'll get a strike on your channel. But they could also condone it, where they have the freedom to take it down, but not do that immediately. If you take content that's more independent, and that might be a distributor, that might be like a hip hop distributor, like Empire. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, right? They're probably going to be more lenient about their claiming or takedown policy than a Universal would be.
That makes sense.
So just be smart. Go to Spotify. Like let's say you find a record and you want to bootleg that. Go to Spotify, right click, go to see credits, see who's the product owner, the copyright owner, and then you have a little bit of a better inkling of, oh, can I safely bootleg this or not? And then another thing we always did for Son is we put bootlegs on another channel. So if it ever got struck, we never lost this main channel.
Yeah,
that's a pretty smart idea, because that would be a big blow. He was talking about having it. What song was he had to delete?
No, he said he deleted a bunch of them.
Yeah, we did. At some point, it was a decision, because when we began the Don't Touch the Classic for all in his main account, and later we started an account, and it's you guys should look it up. It's called it's Sorry Not Sorry, and the banner says Please Don't Strike. And that's where we started uploading like mixes and that stuff. Yeah.
Cool. No, that's super interesting. So what was the song that went off the hardest? It was obviously the next episode, right? Remix.
It was a cadence. Like Son put out the Cosmos EP, and we worked that really hard, and he had a few of the remixes up, and then we also worked the remixes, and it was just a bunch of things coming together. Like Trap Nation was just getting started, and this was one of his first uploads to really go off. And then we hit the Hype Machine charts when that was still very relevant.
Yeah.
And all those things came together we were on the genre charts on SoundCloud, plus we had the YouTube thing going on, plus we had the Hype Machine going on, and we got some creds from some other people in what was the early future bass scene. And all of that came together, and then it's like, okay, then get booking agents reaching out. And then we had the first momentum.
I mean, Son was moving when he first came out. I remember how fast his account was going. How'd that relationship with Trap Nation form? Because I know that, you guys have some big releases that have gone off on Trap Nation.
Well, they're just really good people. And the founder, Andre, is a very smart guy. He's incredibly young. But
how old is he?
I think he's early 20s. Early 20s. But what's incredible about his business is, out of the YouTube channels, many people started uploading music, and there was definitely a wave where some of these channels got 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, and that was a real moment, I think, for some of them to show their true colors. Like, could they pivot and take this stupid success that they've had, right, and diversify that audience from a YouTube to a Spotify to a SoundCloud to an Instagram, build a playlist on Spotify, maybe even start a record label, start acquiring copyrights, and build a business. And he did that. He did that so well, and many of his peers faltered. And I really respect him for that.
Because I think it's a lot harder. Like, think about building a YouTube channel.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same as building a network.
No, but pivoting it, like, there was definitely a moment where it was a very easy way to make a lot of money with very little work doing this, and you got some freelance kid just to upload your records on your channel maybe once every day, and you're paying that person $300 a month, and that's it. You're coasting. But to pivot that into a label, it's harder, but also moving that audience around. I see you guys doing it, from the email list to the Instagram, and whatever platform is going to be next. I'm sure you will pivot in a timely way, or I hope you will. It can be done. And I think he just did so well.
Yeah. I think just being aware that you need to do that. And like a lot of people listening don't know that you should be on
collecting lists.
Yeah, you should be collecting email lists. You should be doing a Facebook Messenger list. You should be doing anything you can to diversify your audience, because you're going to be done in 2 years when Instagram fucking all of a sudden
organic
all the
zero.
reach like Facebook did.
Yeah. Well, one thing you guys are doing a lot is Messenger, right? Because the open rates are incredible.
Yeah.
And plus, it's interactive. Like, for everybody listening to this, you can send any sort of musical MP3
you can send
file.
a video of yourself talking,
you can send
right?
a video of yourself. I'm going to do it after this. You guys are probably watching this episode and are going to see the thing that I'm talking about, but I'm literally sending out one. I'm just going to be talking for a second. blasting it. Like, what better way to connect? Are you
Yeah,
doing a
right.
lot of list building for either Heroic or the individuals? Because I know you said you're doing stuff for Son. And
Yeah. So we do email lists for the artists. We recently started experimenting with Digits and Superphone, and these are phone number collection companies where either they can text the artist or they can call a number and then they can get a voice note. So one example we talked about this recently.
Let's talk about this. I want to talk about the Billboard because I think that's
Yeah, sure. So Son has a record coming out on June 13th when he's doing his first headline Red Rock show. Just putting that in there. And to campaign that, we're doing a campaign around Son being lost. You know, these missing dog posters.
Yeah.
So we just got a billboard that just looks like Son's missing. So it says lost lately with a phone number with Son black and white staring like... So people are calling and they're hearing Son talk about why he made the record because he's sometimes feeling lost on tour, and we can all relate to that, right? Like, what are we doing in life? What are we trying to do? And that way, we then get the contact information, and when people opt in, of course, and they're willing to be contacted, then that's another avenue for us to reach the fans. So ways we might do that is, let's say they join our fan club and they text, we might activate them when we're doing shows.
Yeah, I mean I think that's nasty.
Yeah,
We're gonna do.
really
You're gonna
good.
see some Cymatics billboards.
Yeah, we're about to
go
start popping Cymatics billboards at all the
Outside
festivals,
Budi's
all the
house.
music conferences.
Booty, you're gonna be on the way to the office and look up, and be like, "Oh shit!"
You should tell the people about the billboard next to your school.
Oh yeah, guys. It's kind of funny thing me and Drew are talking about because me and Drew are not the school type of people. I mean, we pretty much rejected school, dropped out, but it's just funny to get like a fat billboard next to Kennesaw State University, the school we went to, and just be like F school and just some goofy. Don't go to KSU. Get samples or something goofy like that.
Text this number. No, you got to get the opt-in.
Oh, dude, to get that many opt-ins for the price of the billboard, like, dude, that's nasty good. That's definitely something we're gonna see. For us though, it's cool because you guys got a bigger front end audience. So, for example, you can take an everyday listener and turn him into a fan. We have to have like music guy,
But like
You know
a
what I'm
music conference, it would
music
definitely
conference,
make sense.
yeah.
Any of the music conferences.
Gaming conferences, music conferences.
Yeah.
That's a good
Even
idea.
festivals would probably work for
Yeah,
you
I think.
guys.
I mean, dude, the amount of people that came up to us at Shaky Beats, it was pretty insane to
It's
see.
weird.
So
ever since it's Instagram,
yeah,
I'm telling you.
Oh,
Instagram,
yeah,
100%.
totally.
Same.
But it's funny, like taking this viral angle to traditional advertising, which a billboard is, it is something that really works if you layer in technology in a way.
with
Yeah.
Or you do something that's so outrageous, people are going to be posting
yeah,
about
as long as
Yeah.
you do something outrageous enough, I think typical billboard ads will fucking. We know a producer that just has a billboard ad just like with his face on it and no call to action. He's
Nothing.
just like
I'm
trying to
like-
brand his face, I think, or something. But
Yeah.
he has them. I think he has a few in Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
It's just like it's fucking pointless.
No
But if you do it the
chance.
right way,
Yeah.
I think it's
If
awesome.
you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
collecting leads or something, and you don't really have a measurable one, and
Mhm.
you don't even have like it didn't even look like a strategy for it. It's just
That's probably the biggest thing is having some kind of measurable if you're ever doing anything
at
like
least
that.
something that you're
Yeah.
going against that you know if you're doing
Yeah.
well or not.
But the point you're making for producers, right, and artists is find a way so that you can reach your fans. And the platform usually when it matures, it becomes harder and harder
Yeah.
to do that, right? But what-
Instagram is still fucking amazing right now, just so you know. Full reach,
Super
no
good.
barely any ads. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Easy
right
to
now.
grow.
Yeah, it's really easy to
Take
grow
the 7-day
right now.
challenge. Call a little shout out. Anybody who hasn't taken it yet, we got a free 7-day challenge. It's fire.
Steven's good. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that 7-day challenge we made it when we were at like 20 or 30K followers. I'm like, look, we grew this. Then you look now, we're at like 150, 160, and it's just hilarious because that was only a couple months ago.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Stuff works straight up.
Yeah, giveaway sauce, viral stuff. I don't know. So what are you doing for new artists? Like, you said you got a new artist coming up.
Mhm.
And the reason I'm asking this is because I think a lot of people are in that they haven't got any traction yet. Maybe a song or two out, but they're pretty
New
much
artists with no brand.
new
I'll say
artists,
that.
no brand. Like,
Mhm.
what's kind of on that first steps checklist to kind of get them up and going?
Mhm.
Get
Sure.
get some traction.
Really depends on the act. Really depends on the act and what she has going for her, right? Like, what's the angle you're trying to play? Is it going to be a bass music artist where it's going to be very touring driven? Or is it someone who is more of an instrumentalist who's trying to be live? Or is it a vocalist, who's trying to top line? Let's say it's just a producer, right? Someone who just wants to play shows and go to conventional electronic music route. It's just the first thing that helps is if you can output great quality content And then I think we would begin doing that ourselves and maybe identifying the different labels or other artists who might have labels or other collectives that we want to align with. And then it's like, how aggressive can you be? How much content can you create? And how convincing is your pitch to these people to put out records?
So you'd be doing a lot of like networking type stuff.
Well,
For
you gotta build a story, right? So if you're a beginning producer, let's say you grind and you put out stuff on SoundCloud and for free, you do some like the download gates and some follow gating and all that good stuff, some pre-saves on Spotify, but you're still minuscule. It's like once you reach the level where your music is good enough, you got to be tapping into other people's audiences, and then you need to be bringing it back in, right? And then depending on how well you can research, maybe people with DSPs or the indie playlisters we spoke about, it's also going to depend on how big your artist project is, right? And the bigger your artist project, the more doors are going to open for you when you are pitching and reaching out. And then if your content's really good, there's also a window for you to get things that over-index.
So you're talking about story and pitching a lot. I don't think a lot of people are going to fully understand that. Are you meaning like sending an email and having your story in there? Are you talking about trying to set up a meeting to where you can really talk about the vision? Or how exactly do you show off that story as an artist? Because they might not even listen to the song, but like how would a new artist then show that story and pitch it?
Yeah, so I think you should identify the supporters that are most reasonably going to be approachable for you, and then it's like concentric circles. You're expanding out from there. So what is that? Which indie playlisters, which SoundCloud channels, which artists do you think might be willing to repost your stuff? Where can you trade on playlists, trade on SoundCloud? Find those people. I think going in for the pitch to do a meeting at Spotify, like you're nowhere near there yet, right? Unless you've already engaged with these people and you have something going for you. But yeah, absolutely. That's a combination of sending people DMs on Instagram. It's messaging them on SoundCloud. It's emailing them.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a lot of hustle. I think a lot of people aren't doing enough of that. Like a lot of producers and artists really think that they're going to put the amazing song out there and it's just going to go. Like if it's good, everybody's going to listen to it. I'm like, dude, even get them to click that link.
If you message 300 people and you're genuine, there's going to be a couple people that answer.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Like, no, I'm not saying go out and say, yo, check my SoundCloud, bro. That's not it.
No, and it needs to be like your pitch needs to be something interesting to say. Like the people who are curators at these different platforms, you don't need to give them like a value prop in a way, but you do need to customize your message so that it's completely localized, right? So let's say you're pitching someone in the Netherlands at a major label who runs a major label playlist, hypothetically, right? What can you say about what you've done in a market that's relevant? Have you collaborated with a local artist? Are you a local artist? Are you doing any touring in that market? Why is it relevant for that person? Or can you get the personal angle, right? Maybe you checked out said person's Instagram, you saw he or she was there, and there's something relatable about that. Or you reference, hey, did you have a great trip there? Because I think we all learn to come and pitch and do that with like a value proposition, but also there are people who don't necessarily need that, but it just needs to be crafted.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've had a lot of success. I think what you're talking about, like really scoping out what's the person looking for and try to like pitch it in their perspective, not ours. Exactly. And also like highlight your good stuff. Some people think like it's not a sob story or something like that. Like highlight some real, like for us, the reason we had so much success about getting people on the show and people are like interested in stuff just because I'm not telling them the stuff I don't want them to hear. I'm like, okay, what's the highlight reel? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the best stuff? Copywriting. Copywriting. Everybody who's not watching this, learn some copywriting because it's vital. And then use that secret.
You should tell them what that is because that sounds like copywriting your song. We're talking
about copywriting. Like literally, so if you look up, I mean, obviously there's different definitions for it, but copywriting is essentially like being really good at the written word. Comes a lot from like the advertising industry and stuff. But when it comes to writing captions for Instagram, when it comes to writing cold emails, when it comes to doing a lot of different stuff, being really good at writing, like being able to convey a certain message or to have people interpret a message a certain way is the most vital thing.
If you don't learn that, you're gonna fucking
read some books on. I mean, you've done a lot of research.
But that's not even for producers. I think that's for any person.
That's
right?
literally any person trying to get a job, trying to work with different people.
Anything.
Doesn't matter.
Learn how to present yourself. Learn how to sell. Learn how to think about the other person and find out what he or she wants.
I don't think not many music producers know about copyright.
They don't even know it exists. That's the biggest thing is not knowing that it's actually a thing.
Because you can't even then go look up books on it because if you don't even know it, it's like dark matter. You know
but this comes back to your question, right? Of okay, so when does a manager come in? and I think people need to develop the skill set
Themselves.
before
I think they should
they
too.
bring on other people.
You think a solo guy can make it pretty far without any sort of manager, just going by himself?
Well, at some point you need a team. At some point you need a team, and you're going to be bottlenecked. If you're having success, you're going to be bottlenecked by your own output, and you're going to need people you can trust.
Oh, definitely. Well,
do you want to go ahead and tell everybody how much you love planning? I had to bring up planning.
I
at
planned
some
on
point.
saying that.
he planned it out this morning.
Yes. Well, I have to. I mean, it's a nature of specifically the artist management business. Like, we're planning out tours for Son more than 7 to 8 months out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about, what's the crew, what's the routing, what's the production, musically, how far ahead are we releasing? And then on both the Heroic and the Bitbird sites, we have the label release schedules. And let's say our other management clients are also artists we have on the Bitbird label. We're working that release schedule. So it's all incredibly interdependent. So I think my way of coping with all that, and actually it's also just so necessary because you don't want to be sorting out everything last minute, is we just got to schedule, plan ahead. But luckily we have a terrific team.
Yeah, by the way, guys, the only
very good
way
at
I'm
doing
saying
that.
this is because us and Budi are on the exact opposite pages when it comes to planning. Like, there's certain stuff we plan, but we pivot last minute on so much shit.
I mean, it's been a funny joke that we've been, talking to Budi about this whole week, just because me and Drew are so wing it, and we're doing a.
We just added a tour date by me walking up and saying, "Hey, that doesn't look right."
Add
another day right there. That's what I did this morning.
And no, the reason this has all been funny is just because I don't know if it's even been announced yet, but us and Budi are working on a couple collaboration projects, and it's just funny because that. I'm like, yeah, we got it, Budi. Budi's like, no, we got to plan this sit down. I'm like, no, man, we got it.
Just different ways of working. I think Gary Vee does a little bit of that. Just kind of, it's like organized chaos. Like, yes, there's a little bit of organization. Yes, we have a main plan overall that we're shooting for, a main goal, but like we like living in the chaos a little bit sometimes.
I know you guys do.
It's fun. It's a little more.
It makes it more fun. I don't know what I'm doing necessarily every day, and that's a good thing in my eyes.
Yeah, I know. So one thing I wanted to bring up that we've been the exciting part about getting you on here is that we get to talk about business stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, sounds awesome. We can talk about music, but it's exciting because all day, we're talking about business, music industry, and all that great stuff. So I think the first thing I want to talk about is actually TikTok, Lil Nas, about how he absolutely went off with Old Town Road, and kind of how you're looking at TikTok a little bit, because I've seen a lot of people, including our buddy Ryan was talking a lot about it, how artists are starting to look at TikTok as a real play, and you guys accidentally bumped into some success there. So what do you think about TikTok?
TikTok's crazy. These short form video format platforms, they're changing the game. The demographic is so young. I think 60% of TikTok fans are under 20 years old. So it's the early Snapchat audience, basically, back in the day. And the engagement's so high on every single post. And it's like a continuation of, maybe you had Harlem Shake and Bauer, right? And now all the way that's evolved into silly dance videos and memes. And maybe it's the evolution of Vine in a way, too.
It's kind of interesting because of the nature of it. The entire product is only basically videos with songs behind them. So if one song starts going off, everybody wants to do a video to that song. Yeah. So it becomes almost like you feel like you're missing out on the clout if you don't get in on that trend. And
it's it goes so fast. Like, the success that we had was very coincidental. So one of our clients, unlike Pluto, has a project called Wymona, which we recently started representing as well. And they have a record called Wannabe, which is a Spice Girls cover, right? So if you want to be my lover. Yeah. So that record. And they put it out with the label from the Nations, Trap Nation. They did that in 2017. And earlier this year, one of our team members, he's like, yo, this thing is getting hella traction out of nowhere. And it went up to maybe 150, 160,000 Spotify streams a day. And I remember within the first month, we were over 400,000 Shazams, right? People checking out the record.
Holy shit.
And so what happened is a bunch of e-girls, as they're called, right? Yeah. So they're just attention-seeking women on TikTok were doing a dance to this record, and it started popping off, and more people started doing it. And I think at this point, there's probably over 12 million videos of people
Holy
dancing
cow.
to this particular
Nasty,
record.
man. That is crazy.
You know, we, of course, when we saw that, we started throwing fuel on the fire. But I have to admit, if this was something that we chanced upon, you know, and I think what Lil Nas X did, am I saying it correctly?
Yeah, something like that.
I think I watched it earlier.
I think what he did, from what I've understood from his backstory, is he has been looking at all the memes on TikTok, on Instagram, and trying to hop on what the next thing would be. And he forced this success to happen. And that's incredible. And I think all the reputable managers and labels in the game, you know, all the digital teams, everyone's trying to figure out, so how can I make TikTok work for me? And different ways people are trying that is, you know, maybe you're paying a bunch of influencers to do a silly dance on the day that a record comes out. And it could also be working with ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, with them to do a song challenge. So they do these dance challenges, and I think they're localized, right? So you might do one for North America, one for the Netherlands, whatever, where you could coordinate that the record will come out on this date, and then you're also going to do a dance, and then, you know, you have some broadcast attention from their end as well. And then you lay in the influencers, and then maybe the artists on TikTok too. And Son is actually just now on TikTok. We started putting out content.
What was a dance that went off?
Yeah.
What dance were they doing to the Spice Girls?
It's
And will you do that on the show?
I couldn't even. I don't know it off the top of my head. It's not that hard though.
They made up their own dance for that.
Most of the videos will not even be like a dance that you actually have to have skill to have, and that's what I think that's driving TikTok is that you don't have to be a talented dancer. You can just get on there and act like an idiot and do pretty well.
Totally. I mean, people want to see goofy shit. They want to see like this is what I'm seeing, right? Is they want to see in context stuff. So there's a Joji record, there's a microwave sound, and then their dances become like turning around like as if you're in a microwave, you know, on the beep of the record. That stuff works. but then also like comedic stuff.
This is like plank challenge type shit or ice bucket
challenge.
challenge.
No,
exactly. And I mean, the game has now become who learns how to repeatedly make these things pop off.
Who's the meme lord?
Yeah, in a way. And I wonder how long it's going to last.
I think it's getting.
I don't think it's going.
It's not. So you know what's
soon.
funny? People are like, it used to kind of be a joke, right? Memes are just a joke, and then people are starting to sprout some serious ass fucking brands and companies and making.
I mean, Catch Me Outside Girl is
she's
the
making
ultimate example. She's like she has a makeup company now. That's probably I don't even know how much it's making. It's making
What do you
Good for
think
her.
about this?
I think good for her.
No, it's pretty crazy. Like, and I mean, she has a music project now. I mean,
You almost have to respect it now because what goes from meme turns into like, wait, this is culture. You know what I'm saying? And it sinks deep.
Well, it's just a consequence of where attention is shifting, right? Which is all on mobile. It's all on Instagram. It's on TikTok.
That's what we talk about. The rap scene is doing so fucking well right now because they are the kings of attention.
Right.
They first of all love people looking at them and talking about them all day. They get face tats. They get crazy hair. All that shit, and it fucking blows them up.
It's like
it's a little outrageous.
Oh yeah, but on purpose. But then if you have the music to back it up, you build this super hardcore fan base. Like Lil Peep is a great example. He has like still, he obviously passed away, but he has diehard fans to this day. Like,
you know, it's funny. It's that Budi's over here dropping knowledge bombs, but I bet if we brought like Damn Daniel onto the show, people would be like, "Its plays just skyrocket." It's like, what is this logic? Some old meme or something.
But you're hitting on something here, and this is a struggle I see with some of our clients. You know, is I think our management roster, you know, they're all incredible musicians, but they also take a lot of pride in their art. But they're also seeing that commercially, the things that are connecting the most, they don't necessarily qualitatively need to be great. It just needs to be viral. Yeah. You know, and sometimes...
They don't like that.
Well...
They don't like that.
Listen, I think that there's a way to strike the balance. And for example, this Lost Lately Billboard campaign is like one way we're doing that, you know, and it doesn't affect the credibility nor how good the record is, but... it definitely takes some creativity to come up with the stuff in between. And I think all the guys need to find where they're comfortable.
I think the biggest thing is just trying shit. You can't be afraid to try shit. Yes. Even if people don't like react the way you want them to every time, there's a delete button for a reason.
Well, people are terrified to ruin their stupid layout, their Instagram layout that they've built. And I'm like, and then that layout traps them. Like, dude, you can now not experiment.
Our friend Ryan, that was actually, we did a show with him.
Sorry, Ryan, you're getting
because we brought it up at the show.
We're bringing him back on the show. Don't worry.
So he's the one who's really good at Spotify. Like he makes like $10,000 a month on Spotify, but he has absolutely no front end brand basically.
So it's just interesting to see how much support.
So how's he done that?
So through
His
his manager and him working on playlisting like hardcore.
Good enough. And he just got signed to Capitol Records. So
yeah,
he's
he's a great producer too. That's his product is there, but his Instagram layout. I'll pull it up.
Okay,
Ryan. So, rest in peace, Ryan.
Oh, he's getting roasted on the show.
Oh, we roast him in person too.
Okay.
Though. That's the thing.
So he has to stick to that like.
And Ryan's
like,
a cool guy.
Like that. You know
Ryan
what I mean?
OTR.
Yeah.
Ryan is a great guy. You would never know it from his layout. You know what I'm saying?
You can't get to know him.
Yeah,
But that's why.
Yeah, but it's also the type of artist you want to be. I think there are definitely projects that have taken a more mysterious, less personalized approach to branding, and they've done super well.
I think there's been
Any
few
big
outside
ones?
of Zoo.
Any big ones
Zoo-
besides
outside
Zoo?
of
Zoo would be my example.
But Zoo also.
And Zoo has held himself back from that because if you go look, and my buddy Miles is actually on his management team. I've always said this. I think he's holding himself back. You go to Zoo's page now. Let's go to Zoo Music. 143K followers. He should have multi-millions.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
You
with
see what I'm
that.
saying? And now it's like, uh-oh.
But
totally.
he still makes great money. Still is a huge artist.
No, of course.
So
Totally.
it's a different way of going about it. They're also going for like radio play specifically and stuff like that. Their whole
But you wouldn't be withheld from getting radio plays by being personal. Like
exactly.
Agree,
It's just they wanted to do that branding method. I think it's awful. I think anybody this day and age like trying to
you're
even
losing.
Ryan said that.
But that's then we come back to the same thing, right? I don't think it's awful. It's just it is an aesthetic choice, and if that is what the person is happiest with,
I don't think it's the
great
most
for them.
effective.
But
It's
no,
not
exactly.
the most
But
effective.
that's a given.
Yeah.
I think.
Look
at
at
this
San's
point.
Zoom. San does Zoom faces.
Oh yeah, and actually I commend him for that, because it also took him being a little loose about that.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
And
why.
honestly,
That's
I think
why.
that's why he's had so much success is because
Yeah.
he's willing to push the needle a little bit with that stuff. But then like it doesn't hurt his brand. Nobody sees his music as any less because he does funny things on Instagram.
Oh no, totally not. But I think to get where he is mentally, right, to feel that liberation from it needs to be curated, or people perceive me in this way, or I need to be cool. So those are some steps to take.
I know. Well, I was in the same boat is the thing, and then I eventually realized this isn't fucking working.
Remember back in the day when people thought great marketing was matching up your SoundCloud banner with your profile picture so it perfectly aligned and it looked like one picture? Like that. I don't know. It's just
everybody thinks like when we talk about branding, people always want to bring up their album art, and I'm like, yes, that may be 1.1% of your branding. That is not your brand.
But
Is your
traffic.
That's
album.
what you communicate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the way you present yourself.
Because traffic, you gotta get eyeballs on your thing. That's like I think what 99% of artists struggle with is even getting initial eyeballs. And we the reason we've been so adamant on Instagram, we realize is that it's just a vehicle for attention, right? And it could be a gateway drug to your music. Drew's following rappers for a couple months before he checks out a song. Then he checks out a song. He's like, wait, these guys are dope.
Or I'll check it out and be like, oh, I don't like this guy as much, and I might unfollow them at that point. Or I just follow them for their content, straight up.
Well, you said something today which is struck a chord with me, and that is, artists have music which can reach far and wide, but you don't necessarily own that relationship. For you guys, maybe your content on Instagram and your other broadcast methods, be it YouTube, right, this podcast, maybe a RSS feed is going to be your way to do that. But it's like the cycle you want to have. And if the artist can harness both the content on the YouTube and the Instagram game and also harness the music, like, whew, it's a good combo.
No, if you can do both,
Well,
it's
even
like
like
huge.
even like, dude, those little videos we were showing San, and San went back and made a couple of those like little one minuters. Dude, people love seeing it in the studios.
And it doesn't need to be content. Like you can hit people with like a very specific kind of content. Like we'll make like a Minecraft remix or a specific thing that's meant to hit just those fans, like the Minecraft fans, the super fans. It might mean the world to 100 people, but maybe other people might not like it as much. It's okay to do content that not everybody likes.
San has, what's a good idea? You should tell San to do. He has a Donkey Kong remix from the Donkey Kong game. You should get a video of him playing the game and play his song in the background. That would go
or just a straight up creation of that thing would really go off. But I know he doesn't want to do that.
Got some more content ideas.
We got content ideas for days. See, usually when you guys aren't in town, like me and Steven, probably like 2 or 3 hours a day are just sitting there talking ideas on like content.
Pretty excessive.
And then the distribution, like that's a big part of our day is these unplanned meetings, just talking about ideas.
Yeah.
We still have to be the ones doing the distribution, though. I will say, like right
Yeah.
now, like actually hitting the post button, it's really tough to pass it off. Like
I think a lot of people try to do that way too early. Like, I don't think I would ever be able to pass off Instagram and get it done the way I want it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it.
Unless you get someone who has done that herself.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like,
It's hard to.
voice
It's not.
wise.
The problem is, the biggest problem, honestly, would be the copy. Out of anything, training somebody to write copy in the voice and the message.
It's possible.
It's hard.
But you gotta have someone shadow you for like quite a time.
Yeah, but then like also it's like, I don't know, with a personal Instagram.
Son's good at Instagram. He does a lot.
I think Son does a great job.
I see how
with
much
it.
he was using.
Oh yeah, no, but that's exactly the point, right? He's taught himself how to really do that, and he realizes the importance of it, and that's what's driving it. Because we could never, even if we put two people on that, they could never be as good as he is spreading his authentic voice.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's really hard to train somebody to. You can train somebody to post on like Cymatics, for example. I could train somebody to post up random pieces of content and stuff.
But not on Drew Cymatics.
Training, not
they
Drew
gotta get in
Cymatics,
your head.
not Steven.
No,
Cymatics.
Cymatics is a little easier because it's a lot of curated content.
Yeah.
And it's but our personal accounts, I don't think they can do it. They just can't.
I don't think that the message is ever going to come across the same.
I would just get them to build their own.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. Even getting like employees to like personal brand alongside with us.
Yeah. Why not?
I think Andre Cymatics would be a great personal brand.
Somebody came up to Jordan at the event and we're like, dude, you were the guy who dropped your phone in the water because it was a funny story. It was a funny story. Me and Jordan were going for a little 5K jog, right?
Okay.
Training for that triathlon. We're jogging and it's like the entire place is flooded, and so we go and then Jordan's looking over. He drops his phone and it's this crazy, like, borderline DJ Khaled when he was on a jet ski type of moment where Jordan has to get in this water and get his phone. But people are coming up to him at the event saying, you were the guy who dropped your phone in the water. They're like, I would have done it too. Why aren't they doing that, Jordan?
Speaking of DJ Khaled, you want to talk about fucking branding? The way he just rolled out his album, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. And I'm not a DJ Khaled fan, straight up. Because
what did he do? I don't.
He rolled it out like the way he was doing content around it, leading up to it. He was literally posting like 4 micro pieces a day for like months, months and months and months of content. Like, and also his album, I'm not gonna lie, has like the best feature list I've ever seen in my life.
He's a king of features, man.
Dude, you should see his album. It's like literally every top artist except for I think Drake and like maybe a few other people. It's every top artist in the game right now.
Cardi B and everybody.
Everybody you can name.
Do you pay attention to all those mainstream like top music people? Like
sometimes, yeah. Him not in particular.
I mean, I definitely pay attention. I'm not, for example, I'm not a Cardi B fan at all, but I still follow her and pay attention because she has all the attention right now.
We really like those like really top, just interesting stuff.
Yeah, some rollouts are incredible. The Lil Dicky video that he just did, the Earth or the Life video.
People didn't like it though. You should have seen the feedback on his Instagram.
I didn't watch the video, but I
still
saw
think
some.
it's well done. Like it's a good idea.
Yeah, no, it was a cool idea.
One of the creative ideas
really cool
that
idea.
I think is super good to throw at the wall.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So going to mainstream projects, what's your thoughts on? We got to talk about the man himself, Marshmello.
Okay.
So what's your thoughts on like projects like that?
Well done.
Yeah.
Very well done.
I think that I think what they've done is like borderline one of the most genius things ever. Because like, dude, I'm telling you, man, either two things are going to happen one day, 80, 90 years from now, that Marshmallow's still going to be going. You know what I'm saying?
Most likely.
Or 80 for 90 years from now, he's going to come out with the video saying it's finally time. He takes it off and he's an old man.
I don't think that's happening.
Everybody thought I was .com.
Wouldn't that be nice for them? Right? They just hang in there and they keep building it.
Yeah. No, I think it's sick.
I have nothing but respect for that because it seemed like both the artist and the manager, they were both super clear about what they were trying to do, right? And they were on the same page. And they're succeeding at doing it, right? And they're definitely innovating. I think the Fortnite thing is huge and
genius.
They're setting an example. I think they rolled out Marshmello products, right?
Yeah.
And now I believe Mo said in an interview sometime he wants to build it as big as Disney or sell it to Disney or. Isn't that a beautiful inspirational dream? Yeah, I love that.
I think it's badass. Would you ever has your artist ever wanted to do helmet type stuff?
Well, listen, I mean, I think our artists and many people in the industry did look at how big that has become because it is so commercial, and of course, people are envious. Do I think necessarily our clients are going to be happy performing with something on their head?
Seems like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, I don't think our guys actually think that would be as great as maybe they think. The money
Dude,
is,
when I see pictures of him walking around at festivals and taking pictures with fans, I saw him at this festival the other day, and I looked up how hot it was. It was like 80 or 90 degrees. He's wearing full black, head to toe, long sleeve shirt, long pants, and this Marshmallow helmet. And I'm like, dude, you have got to be burning up in there.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I used to be that guy. So, guys, just for everybody knows, I used to be a mascot, like for a hospital, and I was this little character. That
Not
would
just
show up.
hospitals,
Yeah.
kind of everything.
Hospitals, I did all kinds of goofy outfits. I was a guy holding signs on the side of the road. But like, one time I was at like this Falcons event, and they had me in that outfit, and I had gone to like see the kids and stuff, but I'm in like a tight outfit, like literally the thing's like squeezing my temples, and I almost puked. I almost puked in that outfit.
Yeah.
and the worst branding move for that company.
It gives a lot of versatility as well, right? Like content creation, it doesn't necessarily need to be him, you know?
Yeah. How do you think fans should feel about that, though?
I don't think the fans necessarily care about the person behind the mask as they do about the message. And I don't think they should, right? Because that's not what they're selling. I think what they're selling is positivity.
I agree with that.
I think deep down though, if most fans heard that it wasn't really who they think Marshmello is, like, because it's still a person they're looking towards, I think they would be disappointed if they thought that if they found out there's a bunch of other people doing it. I'm not even saying that's the case. I don't know if that is the case right now.
No,
It could.
I doubt
They
it.
probably wouldn't.
I don't think
as a
right now
fan-
it is.
As a fan, also, I think then you're not getting the message, right? Because they're playing into positivity, you know, the connectedness, etc. And what they're selling is an image. It's a
Do
persona.
you think selling positivity for money, what I'll sometimes call fake positivity for money, is a good thing?
Don't we sell many other things for money where maybe you're presenting it in a certain way where
that's
that
true.
isn't reasonable? Yeah, I'd rather have people sell positivity than not positivity. You know, and if it's positivity with commercial music, then I mean, if people are vibing to it, like
one
like,
thing that's
for
come
example,
up a lot though is because Marshmello has presented himself like this. That Chris Brown thing that church has called him out for. That was like that's kind of like
you see
where
that?
people are
No,
like,
what happened?
oh, you're presenting yourself as this positive person, but you're collabing with people that are what they called, I think they called known abusers and something. But church has called him out. It was a big news story recently for working with Chris Brown and Tyga. So that's where it's kind of like a weird line, I think.
Right. I have no opinion about that.
You have no opinion?
No opinion.
No opinion.
Are we getting
No
Chris
opinion.
Brown X on Holo collab or no?
I'm not
Just
sure.
fucking around. No. But on a side note, also, I'd say that I think Alone was one of the best fucking tracks in a while.
Oh, there's been some solid music, like the Bastille record, Happier. I think that's a great record.
I think one thing that was so crazy
I like
that
the
he
old
did
school
recently
Marshmallow
was, and not that I like the track, but that song he did, like the Bollywood style one in India, that is fucking genius to go over there and just capture a whole market with one song. It's
I
like,
mean,
absolutely insane.
dude, talk about the impressions that Marshmello has, man. I mean,
That little face, especially because they brand the face on everything. Like, it's like everywhere. It's so beast, man.
Yeah, I'll give it to Mo, man.
I know, Mo kills it with that project.
That's a beast of a
Mo's got
project.
one of the most baller Instagrams I've seen. Probably more baller than most rappers. So
He's got the driveway
with the grass.
He's got the
and
grass design.
He's got a bunch of cars. Mo's all about the car life.
He laugh at the fucking Teslas. He'd be like, "Those bitch ass Teslas." Just kidding. Goofy shit.
But
dope. We got anything else on your mind? What else you got, Budi?
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think you said you had some interesting
some
stuff.
hot takes, and I'm waiting for some hot controversial takes.
Kind of try to get
I'm
into
just
it a little
fucking
bit.
with you, man.
We also have, I believe you have that meeting in 20.
Yeah.
I don't want to run into that.
Yeah, we can start wrapping it up.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think here.
We should do a small giveaway too with this.
Oh,
the first. I mean, we should just do giveaways on every episode. I think.
Okay,
to be
that's
honest.
a new standard. You just heard it on the fly. So yeah,
That's
we're
where we
about
come up with that decision right there.
Boom.
right there.
How,
That was
how planned of
No,
yours.
no planning.
the secret was the Stellas right here. Stella right here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
What do you
Jordan.
want to give away? We have some toys in there.
Should I just go find one?
Yeah, go
All right.
find a toy. We're gonna do a giveaway.
I didn't even know there was a closet.
That's our secret goodie closet.
Okay.
There's just a bunch of random
wonder what's
equipment in
coming
there. I don't know. Let's make it a surprise. Oh, there we go. Keyboard. People are gonna be excited about that.
Right here.
Should make sure it's on the camera. I guess it's on that one right there.
I can let me put it for this one so because we don't need
Yeah.
to use that one. Yo guys, looks like we're gonna be doing a giveaway Key Station 49 key. But before we get into it, I think we should give a small plug at least to what we're working on. Right, we're about to hustle our fucking faces off on this free this free day we have. So essentially, Budi knows a absolute shit ton, which you guys probably got a taste of in about Spotify. So we were working on something saucy, and that's the plug. Something saucy. Get ready if you guys want to
keep your
go
eye
in,
out for that.
learn about the sauce. And I think a lot of stuff that, I mean, dude, how long did it take you to learn all that stuff? Because you don't just learn it by reading something. You have to actually
do it.
You have to be doing it, like with the thing we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how long have you been playing the Spotify game now?
Since the beginning. So that's years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're somebody you're going to do not only the practice from releasing songs, but you're going to be reading probably everything about the platform, right? Nonstop.
Yeah, I'm just going to explain how the platform works and how people should think about it and how they should approach it.
Is there any, in the meantime, any reading that they could do on Spotify that would be helpful? Like, is there any blogs out there you know of or anything?
Oh, totally. There's on our Heroic Academy website, we actually have a great article about Spotify. So if people go to the website, heroic.academy, they can look that up, and I'm sure we can put that in the comments.
Yeah.
And it has a good one-on-one.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So sweet. And maybe Budi, you want to ask like we'll do a question.
I think we should just do best moment, like we were talking about.
Best moment. Yeah.
Best moment. Your favorite. Just comment your favorite moment.
What's your favorite moment of the podcast? And we'll pick our favorite answer and give away an M Audio Key Station 49. Cool.
All
right. Well, thanks for being on the show, Budi.
Thanks for having me.
This was a fun episode. I think for those of you guys watching this, by the way, probably an episode you should go back, take notes, especially during the beginning. I mean, Budi was dropping a lot of gems. Like this stuff you should re-listen to a few times and really
Should have said to take notes at the beginning.
Everybody's like, "Fuck, why'd you tell me, bro?"
Hey, luckily they can scroll back.
Yeah, you can scroll back,
Yeah.
but like go back through this thing and actually like, listen to stuff he's talking about with the strategy, because a lot of people are complaining about traction. They're spamming out people, check out my SoundCloud. And I think something like this is insight in the actual industry, somebody who's killing it right now. So definitely go do that. Thanks for being on board.
Thanks for having me.